Good evening everybody. So we'll continue with this lesson. In previous session we have studied about what is a chemical reaction, and there are different characteristics a chemical reaction possesses, that is change in color, temperature, formation of precipitation, change in state, so on like that. And we have seen some activities to prove those characteristics. So now let us move further to understand the term chemical equation. So, chemical equation. So far we have studied what is a chemical reaction. It is combining of elements or substances to form a new substance. It is like participating to get a new substance. Now, that same chemical reaction can also be written in the formulas or in simple chemical symbols. That representation is called a chemical equation. So, let us say zinc reacts with sulfuric acid, okay, and it gives zinc sulfate. The product formed is zinc sulfate. Along with that, hydrogen gases evolve. Okay, this is an example for evolution of gas. The same equation, the word equation can be represented in chemical formulas or chemical symbols. Now, who are the participants here who are reacting? It is zinc and sulfuric acid. Let us say this is dilute. Zinc is chemically denoted as Zn. Hope you have done your homeworks by referring the periodic table. So you will be aware that zinc can be represented by Zn. The zinc is now reacting with dilute sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid is chemically represented as H2SO4. That is, there is hydrogen, sulfur and oxygen. They combine to form sulfuric acid. Now what happens? The product forms. There is a new substance. New substance formed is ZnSO4. That is zinc sulfate. This SO4 is called sulfate ion. Okay? That sulfate ion combines with zinc and it forms zinc sulfate. And as I have told, hydrogen gases evolved. So H2, since it is evolved, we are showing the arrow mark upward. So this is a typical chemical equation. Okay? So hope it is clear to everyone. Similarly, we can take any example and make our own chemical equation. But there are some rules that has to be followed. That is, proper symbols has to be used. Okay? Now we say carbon, calcium. Okay? Carbon is represented by C, calcium is by Ca. You cannot use C for calcium and Ca for carbon, or any other error should not be, it should not be done. That is one precaution. Secondly, when I say sulfuric acid, we can only hear the word sulfur here, and there is acid. Okay, so is there any word which is telling you there is hydrogen present or there is oxygen present here? No. So you should not make a guess that sulfuric acid is only made up of sulfur. So you should be knowing what are these chemical terms and chemical symbols. What is the symbol for hydrochloric acid? It is hydrogen and chlorine combined. Similarly, for lead nitrate we have PbNO3. Then for calcium oxide we have CaO. So you need to read more and more textbooks. You have to refer and you have to look into the symbols. So that will help you to frame the chemical equation. Okay. Now we will take another example here for chemical equation. So we can say that sodium hydroxide reacts with hydrochloric acid. So we are aware of hydrochloric acid. Maybe sodium hydroxide, some of us are aware. So this is sodium, OH is hydroxide ion. They both combine to form sodium hydroxide. Then the sodium hydroxide is combining with hydrochloric acid. Okay. Now, these two reactants combine to form a new substance called sodium chloride. Along with that, what is left out? There is OH left and H left here. So there are 2 H and 1 O, which is H2O, water. So below I have written the word equation. This is called word equation because everything is in words, right? We can understand. Whereas this is chemicals, the symbols, the formulas. If I use H alone, it is a chemical symbol. If I use HCl, it is a formula. It is formula for HCl, that is hydrochloric acid. So this is now called as chemical equation. Okay? So that's about chemical equation. Then, under chemical equation, we have some types. There is balanced and unbalanced chemical equation. Okay. So the word itself tells us that balanced is something which is equal at both the sides. Unbalanced is maybe not equal or more less comparatively. Now we have seen when we take a balanced scale, earlier before digital scales there was a balanced scale. So you have to put components equally. If you keep 5 kgs in the left hand side of the balance scale, you have to put 5 kgs worth vegetables or whatever the things that you are selling. Then only the both becomes equal. Similarly, in a chemical equation, let us take an example of again Zn reacting with sulfuric acid gave us zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas. So in this example, if you observe, there are reactants and there are products here. Okay, there are plurals. There are 2 reactants, 2 products formed. So who are all the reactants here? It is Zn. You have to take a single element, Zn, and here you cannot take the whole H2SO4. Split that into elements and then mention them. So it is hydrogen, there is sulfur, and there is oxygen. Similarly, here we have Zn, H, S, and O. You cannot expect calcium to come here, right? Whatever is reacting, the same things will be reflected in the product side. But how many numbers are present? Reactant, Zn is only 1 atom. So put 1 here. Hydrogen is 2 atoms. Sulfur is 1 atom. Sulfur is 1 atom and oxygen is 4 atoms. Come here, count the same. Zn is 1, sulfur is 1, and hydrogen is, hydrogen is 2. Let us take in order. So it is Zn, hydrogen. So sulfur is 1. Finally oxygen is 4. So if you compare 1 and 1, 2 and 2, 1 and 1, 4 and 4. Correct? So both are same. The elements present in the reactant side are equal to the elements present in the product side. That is, the atoms, number of atoms are same. Now we call this equation as a balanced chemical equation. Understood? What do you mean by unbalanced? Let us take another example. Let us take H2 reacting with O2, the formation of water. Okay. So we get H2. H2O is called as water. It is not H2O2. It's wrong, right? So H2O is water. So we had hydrogen molecule, oxygen molecule. Both are in molecular state. Both combine to form water. Now let us write reactant, product. There is hydrogen, oxygen. There are 2 here, 2 here in the reactant side. What about the product? 2 hydrogen and only 1 oxygen. Now do we call this as a balanced or unbalanced equation? It is unbalanced chemical equation because we see oxygen atoms are not balanced. Okay? And we need to understand an important concept that we have studied this in science class in previous years. According to law of conservation of mass, okay, so mass can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it is equal, right? It can be changed from, like we said for energy, it can be converted from one form to another. The mass cannot be destroyed or it cannot be created. It is always equal in the input and equal in the output. Okay. So here, where does that one more oxygen got escaped? Is not escaped. We can still make this a balanced chemical equation by following some rules. Okay. So let us see. So we need to balance oxygen, right? There are two oxygen in the reactant side and one in the product side. To balance this, we are given some permissions to add certain numbers where it is unbalanced. You can come here, you should not add the number as a subscript. What do you call this as subscript? You don't have any power to add here. Okay? First I am making mistakes so that you people will not do that mistake. Okay? You don't have the option to put the numbers here. Can we put it here, ma'am? No. We don't have that option to insert a number in middle of the compound. This is called as a compound, right? In the middle, we don't have the permission to put the number. Then where do we have the permission to put the number? It is only in the previous to a molecule or an element or a compound. Okay. So this is an element, this is a molecule, this is a compound. We have option to put the numbers left back to them. Okay. You can say left side or back to them. We don't have option to put in the subscript form. We don't have option to put in the middle, or we don't even have an option. Ma'am, now is it simple? Can we erase one number here and we make it equal? We don't have that option also. You cannot remove any number. You need to only multiply numbers and make the quantity balanced. So let us see how to balance that. We'll take the same example. So it is H2O2, we add H2O. So reactants, products, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, right? So what do? We want to make the oxygen as 2 and 2. So which number can be multiplied to the product side atom to make it as 2? It is 2. You need to multiply 2. So which is your product? So please go to product side. Do not go to reactant. Okay, you are going to product side. We don't have option here. We don't have option here. We have option only to put it here. Now, after putting that 2 there, check your equation again. Don't feel happy that yes, we balanced. Yes, we have solved our problem, but we have affected others. Hydrogen got affected. Can you see what happened to hydrogen? It was happily 2 and 2. They were happy. But we made the product as 4. So what we can do now? Do the same rule. Go to the reactant side. You have to convert this 2 into 4. Remember 2 tables. 2 times 2 is 4. So put a 2 there. So you are going to the reactant side. You are going to hydrogen only. You cannot go to oxygen because we are altering in the hydrogen side. Where we have the power to put is here. Now again reframe it. Check the number of atoms. This is 4. Yes, this is 4. This is 2. Yes, ma'am. Oxygen is also 2. And one more thing. Whenever you put numbers here, it doesn't mean it is only for oxygen. It is for all the elements which are present in that compound. Unless you get a plus, this number is applied to all the atoms. If you had H2 here, this number is not affected to the next element or molecule. It is applied for this whole elements. Okay. So this is a simple equation we balanced. Let us take let us say a harder chemical equation and let's try balancing that. A difficult one. Okay, you people can try at your places. Okay, we have CH4 plus O2 give rise to CO2 plus H2O. First, we need to understand what are these elements or compounds. CH4 is methane gas. Okay, it's methane gas. Oxygen in its molecular state. CO2, well known, carbon dioxide. H2O, very well known, water. Okay, now this is understood. Rule number 1, reactants, products. See, carbon is the element here, hydrogen is another element, oxygen. So we have only 3 elements in the reactant side. Similarly, 3 here. It is carbon, oxygen, hydrogen and oxygen. Okay? Don't write twice. Ma'am, we have O here also, we have O here also. Can I put 2 O's here? No. Write it only once. Now, reactants, see, there is 1 element. Hydrogen, there are 4. Oxygen, 2. Come to your product side. Carbon, 1. Oxygen, okay, before oxygen, let us write hydrogen because I have told you have to write it correspondingly so that it will help you to balance the equation. Hydrogen, it is 2. Now, ma'am, oxygen only 2. Don't write that way. We have another oxygen left here. So, what you need to do? Together you have to count and then write it 3. Otherwise, keep it like this. It will help you. When you are balancing, it will help you. Okay? Keep it like this, 2 plus 1. Now, let us try balancing it. Carbon is already balanced. We have hydrogen and we have oxygen here. See, we can, I actually always take the least number to balance this chemical equation. If we look into the 4 numbers here, the least numbers are 2 and 2 here. Correct? Least andre chick number yaadide kadame 4 ಇದೆ. Okay, so we were discussing about how to balance a chemical reaction. So we have taken an example of methane reacting with oxygen, which gives rise to carbon dioxide and water. So we wrote all the word equation here. We listed the number of elements in the reactant side and in the product side. We came to know that carbon is already balanced, whereas hydrogen and oxygen atoms are not balanced. So what we can first take it into consideration is the least number can be first balanced so that it will help us to balance the equation in few steps. Okay? Since we have 2 here and 2 here, both are least number, both are at equal level. So you can take either of them. Let us start with hydrogen. Okay? If we had 1 hydrogen and there is 2, we should definitely start off with this. So this will help us solving the equation in few number of steps. Since we have equal number, we can take either oxygen or hydrogen. We'll do with hydrogen. So, what is the fault here? It is 4 and here it is 2. We need to make this 2 into 4. Which number should be multiplied? Yes, it is 2. Multiply with 2 to get 4. So, we have to go to the product side and we should meet hydrogen. We don't have permission to write here or to alter in number. We have the permission to put it here. So, I am putting 2. So, 2 times 2 gave me 4. There is 4. It is balanced. But did we affect any other elements? Yes. Let us check. Earlier it was only 1 oxygen here and 2 oxygen here. Combinedly they had 3. But we changed it. 2 plus 2, it became 4. Right? Now it is 4 oxygen in the product side, 2 oxygen in the reactant side. So let us try balancing oxygen now. What we can do to balance this again? Multiply this 2, the least number has to be multiplied with a proper factor to make it balanced. So I am multiplying with 2 to make it 4. So I will go to the reactant side and make the oxygen and I will put 2 here. So 2 times 2 is 4. Now check your equation again. Did we alter any other atoms? Carbon 1, carbon 1. Balanced. Hydrogen 4. Hydrogen 2 times 2, 4. Balanced. Oxygen 2 times 2 is 4. 2 plus 2 times 1 is 2. That is 2 and a 2 gave me 4. Yes, it's balanced. So we have done our job. Okay? So we'll take more examples and solve it once we complete the lesson. I request each of you to take new examples and try balancing it. Okay? Any doubts you can ask me in the next class. We'll move on to the next concept. Okay, to make the chemical equations more informative or more meaningful, we can give some extra information, right? So earlier, we will take one example like the same example, the zinc reacting with sulfuric acid gave us zinc sulfate and hydrogen. By looking at only the symbols or the chemical formulae, we cannot identify which is solid, which is liquid. We cannot come to conclusion. If you see that visually in a lab when you are conducting an experiment, you take up zinc granule, so you feel that, oh, this is solid. Then you put that into a beaker or a test tube. Then you start adding sulfuric acid, which is liquid in state. Correct? Acids are liquid. Most of the acids are liquid. So you can get an exact picture of what state of matter they belong only if you do the experiment. So in our book, to give more information, there will be some symbols mentioned. So S, sometimes L or AQ. I'll tell you what are the meanings. And S, G. Okay, by looking at this symbols itself, you can make a note that you can come to a conclusion. Zinc is a solid. So hence we used S, symbol S, and in a common bracket. Okay. Usually they don't put it in the put it here. They'll put it as a subscript here. Okay. Since I had no much space, so I had written at the bottom. Okay. They'll be usually in this corners as a subscript. Okay. Now, similarly H2SO4, I have mentioned it as AQ. AQ means aqueous. Aqueous is what? Take some solid, put it in water and get a solution. Solution state is called AQ, aqueous. Okay, it is not by naturally liquid. We make it as liquid by adding water or any other liquids. Okay, sometimes you add some things into oil also. That is also aqueous, like that. No, putting it only to water is aqueous. Okay, then S is again solid. What is G? G is gaseous state. Then if you had any symbol like this, which means liquid, they are naturally in liquid state. Okay, so these are some of the hints which is given to us to tell us what state of matter they belong to. Like that, we have some more information. We will see that. So now you have understood solid, liquid, gas, aqueous. Okay. Then further we have informations like, so yesterday we saw formation of precipitation. So if there is a precipitation form, we will have symbol like PPT. Okay, PPT and a dot like this, which tells us there is residue formed. Okay, that is called precipitation. Then okay, in some reactions like carbon reacting with oxygen gives carbon dioxide, then they will add heat. Okay, let us see what it is. Carbon can be solid or sometimes liquid. You can ask me why, ma'am, carbon can be solid or liquid like that. We eat food. Food is in solid state. Food is what? Glucose. We took that inside. We drank water. Now carbon mixed up with water, it became liquid also. So it can be in any state. Now let us consider solid. Now oxygen is gaseous state. What is carbon dioxide? It is gaseous state. Okay. Now, did you observe something here? Heat. Okay. When we are breathing out, just keep your hand near your nose. Breathe fast. What can you feel? Your palms get warmer. You can feel some kind of heat. Okay. So that is what the reaction I have written here. I had eaten my food. I am breathing in oxygen. Now I am breathing out carbon dioxide. This chemical reaction is represented here as a chemical equation. Along with carbon dioxide, heat also came outside. That is the chemical equation. So some reactions are heat generating. Heat is coming up. So what it is? Yesterday we studied there are two types of reaction, endothermic and exothermic. So is it endo or exo? Can anyone unmute and tell? This reaction, is it endothermic or exothermic?
Exothermic.
Yes, it is exothermic because we are releasing heat to the outer environment. If there was heat here, simply I am writing, if your reaction is consuming heat, ನೀವೇ heat ಅನ್ನು absorb ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು endo, it is going inside. ನೀವು heat ನ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, it is going to the outer environment. This is exothermic. Okay, next. So we understood about PPT, precipitation formation, and we understood there is heat. And in some reaction, let us take photosynthesis reaction. CO2, water, carbon dioxide is taken from the air, water is taken from the soil, that is from the ground, and glucose is formed, C6H12O6. Along with that, oxygen is released, along with that energy is released. Okay, can you see? Some reactions release energy. Okay, and very importantly, have you observed writing sunlight here and chlorophyll here? Why are we writing sunlight and chlorophyll above the arrow mark and below the arrow mark? Because they are not the components. They are not the reactants. Okay, they are the catalyst. They are like inputting some energy to the system to enhance the reaction. Now, take a vessel, put all the vegetables, put dal, put water, everything. Wait for 1 hour, keep it on the stove, wait for 1 hour. Sambar is not prepared. What we do? We give heat. Heat is not a material. It is not your recipe ingredient. Okay? If I ask you what are the ingredients needed to prepare gulab jamun, you say X, Y, Z, etc. Heat is not the ingredient. It is an input. We are making the reaction to enhance. It is neither changing the reaction nor stopping the reaction. What it is doing, it is enhancing the reaction. So here also, these are the ingredients for preparing food. But without sunlight, the reaction cannot happen. Without chlorophyll also, the reaction cannot happen. So these are called catalysts. Okay? So in some reactions, we need catalyst, which is mentioned in the below or above the, especially above the arrow marks. Okay? So this can be an example. Similar, then I told you energy, like heat is absorbed or heat is released. We also see that energy is absorbed or energy is released. In photosynthesis, energy is released. In respiration, energy is absorbed. Okay, which all we discuss in life process lesson. Then there are another kind of reaction. Let us say carbon monoxide reacting with hydrogen gas gives us CH3OH. Okay, this is a new formula for us. So whenever you come across new formula, you need to ask your teachers or you need to go to Google and check it out. So this is called methyl alcohol. Okay, so this is methyl alcohol or simply called as methanol. It is a kind of alcohol. Okay, alcohol are a kind of liquids or drugs which can. What happened? It's going on. Okay, how many more minutes? 10. Okay, so this is a methyl alcohol. Now, in this reaction, there is some condition. Just putting carbon monoxide and hydrogen gas together, we will not get methyl alcohol. If you notice, during Christmas time, some Christians or some people, what do? They take all these grapes and put it in a container and they will leave that for certain days to get fermented, and after few days it gives a kind of wine where fermentation is a process. Okay, just putting the grapes into water or putting something, and if you wait, your wine is not formed. You need to give some inputs. Inputs are like there should be dark room. To grow mushrooms, people use dark room. Sunlight is not needed. Whereas the plants need sunlight to prepare their food. So there are some conditions. So for formation of methanol or ethyl alcohol, there should be pressure. Pressure means preparing rice in normal vessel takes 1 hour. Let us assume 1 hour. Whereas in cooker, in a pressure cooker, it takes 10 minutes, right? Why is it? Because we are not allowing the steam to go outside. We are putting pressure on the each and every grains to convert into rice. So we are not allowing the gas or the air inside the vessel to go out. That is called pressure cooker. Similarly, here we need some pressure pressure is measured in atmospheric unit. So let us say 300 atms are used. This is the pressure. Then along with that, we need a kind of temperature. Temperature is what? So our body temperature is 98 degrees Celsius. If it rises from 98 degree, which means we are affected with the fever. Okay. So to conduct this experiment, normal room temperature is not enough. We need at least 300 degrees Celsius of atmosphere temperature. For example, to prepare okay, when you extract iron from the soil, it is not purest. Okay, you need to clean that ore and you have to extract iron, gold, etc. from that ore. Okay, for that you need heat, you need temperature to break all those things, to extract certain things. Okay, it is like, one good example is milk is converted into curd, curd is converted into butter, the butter is heated to get ghee. Just keeping the butter, we don't get ghee. We need to heat that. You provide certain temperature and you get ghee. Similarly, here you have to give 300 degrees Celsius of temperature so that your carbon monoxide combines with hydrogen to form methyl alcohol. Okay. And there is one more thing. We need a catalyst. All these are temperature and pressure. We need catalyst like we had chlorophyll and sunlight. What is that? Zinc and potassium. Sorry. Zinc oxide and chromium CrO3, right? Chromium oxide. Okay, these two are catalyst. They don't combine with the product or with the reactant. Can you see any chromium coming here, zinc coming here, oxygen? It is coming from this carbon monoxide, not from this. Okay, so this is called a catalyst, which can enhance the reaction, which speeds up or makes the reaction to happen in a proper way. Okay, got it? So let us start a new session. Pause. Okay, so guys, let us continue further. So far I had told you that a reaction will have kind of materials like solid, sorry, not materials, the state of the reaction can be mentioned as solid, liquid, gas, gaseous. And heat can either be absorbed or it can be released. Absorption of heat is endothermic, whereas the releasing of heat is exothermic. Then energy can be either absorbed or energy can be either released or absorbed in some of the chemical reactions. And there will be catalysts which are mentioned above the aroma or below the aroma. That is one example which we took in preparing methyl alcohol is zinc oxide and chromium oxide combining together forms a catalyst. And there will be symbols like delta, which is a triangle over an aroma, which means that reaction is requiring heat. There are two kinds. See, in this reaction, where carbon dioxide was released as a product, heat was released out. But whereas some reactions need heat to be given to that. Like we have a beaker and we provide heat to that. So in that reactions, we mentioned delta here on the aroma. So that is a symbol here. Similarly, you can mention the atmospheric pressure which you give like this, the temperature, and many more like this. So this is about the more information about a chemical equation. Then moving on to the next topic, there are types of chemical reaction. So mainly we'll discuss about 5 types of chemical reactions, that is combination reaction, decomposition reaction, then there is replacement reaction, double replacement reaction, and finally we have the oxidation and reduction reactions. Okay, so basically there are 5 types of reactions: combination, decomposition, replacement, double replacement, oxidation and reduction reaction, or together they are called as redox reaction. Okay, we'll look into each concept in depth in the next session. So This is all for today. Thank you so much.